I wish I learned about breathing techniques earlier in life. So that's why I teach it to my children. My children are 4 and 2. And it makes a drastic difference in parenting. I'll give you an example. Anytime my kids get hurt, which is often because they're toddlers and small children, they fall down and do things that push the boundaries of what they're supposed to be able to do. And that's how they learn, of course, is normal behavior. And so they get hurt a lot. And one good example is that my daughter was riding a bike for one of the first times ever with training wheels, and she was riding her bike with a neighbor kid, and the neighbor kid was on the scooter, and our street kind of is on a down incline, I guess, but they were going down. So the neighbor kid starts going very fast, and he ends up like tripping on a rock or something and falling, scratching his knee, like it ripped through his pants, and he was very upset, and he was like down the street, so his dad couldn't get down there right away. So he was yelling to his dad, be tough, you got, like, it's okay, be tough. That's the thing that he was yelling out to him. And I was thinking in my head, of course I would never say this to them, because I put absolutely no judgment on them whatsoever, because I used to do something similar when my older daughter was younger, before I learned breathing techniques. I wouldn't really know what to say when they got hurt. I was like, oh, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. Because you're like, as a parent, you're like, my child is crying, I don't know what to do. But in that moment where the dad was yelling at the neighbor kid, and like, oh, be tough, as he was trying to get closer to him, in my head, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Be tough? How do you be tough? You have to embody toughness as a 5-year-old? That's kind of a big ask. Like, that's so vague, right? And then, like, the next day or something, a very similar situation happened with my daughter. We were scootering down the street, and she fell and scraped her knee. She was crying. And when my kids fall down like that, I always let them cry it out. For a little bit, maybe like not very long, for like 30 seconds probably. So she's crying, and then before it starts to get to the hysterical region, I say, okay, let's take a deep breath, and I breathe with her, deep breaths, just in and out, and do that 3 times, and it stops her crying every single time. Even my 2-year-old does it. I started with my older daughter when she was 2, and she's 4 now. And I think that's going to be so helpful when they grow up.